Hi all. So I just got done doing my second round of the Zombie Apocalypse tournament, and they do two games each round is a progressive and a fixed card Zombie Apocalypse, six-player game, and the top 50% of the field move on to the next round. So this is round two, and this is actually game two. It was the fixed card version, not the progressive card. Generally, these games are about 30, 40 minutes long, or 25. I say 25 to 45 minutes from my experience so far. And this one was actually a much more reasonable time, so I decided to go ahead and talk about it a little bit and share my experience. Now, I will say that I've played Zombie Apocalypse about four times in my life now. No, six times. I'd say six times now because I did the tournament another time. Did the round one of the tournament. So yeah, this is my sixth ever game of Zombie Apocalypse. I know Final Stand very well. I talk Final Stand all day long, but as far as Zombie Apocalypse game mode, don't know it. So coming in pretty blind and don't do a lot of group games in general. So I wasn't confident. I don't expect to go far in the tournament. Surprised to make it to round two, to be honest. And I kind of wanted to share this because I just wanted to show this start. So this start was insane. I think anyone in the position I'm in at this point, because when I saw this on blue, the game gave me Staten Island, like straight up gave me Staten Island. It gave me a six. It put one of the human players next to me, so at least he knows it's there because it does have fog. So one of the human players does know I have Staten Island. Um, but other than that, it put a bot on my bottom side. So if you look at queens on the bottom, the yellow player is there, but the yellow player is an expert bot. So one of my entrances is being defended by an expert bot. That's how I look at it because the bot's not going to attack me because I'm going to make sure I just have just enough troops so it doesn't invade. So from there, it means my opponents are going to have to bust into the bottom side. So I was like, I got one secure border already, and I couldn't believe it. And then it became my turn, and so from here, I decided to go ahead and split my little few troops they gave me up into both sides of Staten Island. This will give me a five border to deal with the bot's five, so that way the bot pretty much is not going to attack me, and I can take over Staten Island because it was just a one. I decided to go ahead and push in just to see what was there. When I saw this, a big smile ran across my face because let's call it. There's only a one from the red player, so the red player had a one and one. But look what's right next to me. It's the yellow player again with a four. So not only do I have the bot being protecting my bottom border, it's protecting my top too. And I also did consolidate all my troops into the beginning of Manhattan. And I mean, when I look at New York, when I generally play this map, I generally want Staten Island. That's usually what I want to go for because Bronx is it's only two squares in the Bronx, so it's easier to get, but it's a lot harder to hold because that's a lot more time where the action is. No one goes for Brooklyn, no one goes for Queens, and Manhattan ends the game if you can hold it. But most of the battling happens more on the right side of the top right side of the map or around Manhattan. And so Staten Island a lot of times is just forgotten about. It's also really easy to defend, and it's so far away on the map that you have to drudge through either the bottom of Queens or you're going to have to go through Brooklyn. If you have to do that, you're going to tear up your armies by the time you even get to Staten Island, and then there's going to be a defense for you. So not only have to trudge all the way through the map, after that point, you're probably not going to be able to break through. And now you're just completely obliterated, and if the person wants to take you out, they can. So Staten Island is really powerful. And honestly, the best route for this map that I've ever found is Staten Island, Manhattan, Bronx. That route is overpowered. If you go and move your attack in that direction, generally people will fall because, again, most of the battling happens in the top right, so they thin out up there, and you just come in and clean them up. And so that was kind of my strategy for this game. Granted, like I said, I don't do a lot of group games. I don't do a zombie apocalypse, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So I defaulted back to a lot of my global domination strategies. And in this case, being that I had this start, I was like, all right, my goal now was not to go for the Bronx, not to go for Manhattan. It was to get those 10 troops to Staten Island. I'm like, I just need to get more troops over there to build a big enough army that I can just run everyone down. And that was essentially my goal. But like I said, if you look what's right below my 10, it's another bot. So not only do I got the yellow bot protecting me, I got the orange bot protecting me. I mean, it's only red and purple that are human players, and purple, like, it can't even get to me. Like, the purple can't even get across the map to get to me. So the only one that can really do anything is red. And I was not happy to see that 12. When I saw that 12, I was not a happy man. Um, so one thing I am keeping an eye on is the stats. I'm watching how many people have their armies and how many territories they have. Being that there's fog, it does tell us those stats, so you can't get really fooled by that. So if someone has only 2 territories, you can know that, and I'm kind of just waiting for the right opportunity to consolidate and then start taking out people. Being that I saw what's called the 12, I didn't want to deal with it. I was really upset about that 12, so I put the 8 over. So I got the 8 at least to kind of protect myself if he goes north. But the fear is that he moves south, because if he moves south, I was just nervous about that 12. I didn't like it, so that's why I put the 11 there. So if he does go for Staten Island, then I have something to follow him. And so I was hoping if I threatened him with that 11 next to him, he wouldn't attack Staten Island. Because if he attacked Staten Island, I was hoping it signified that I'm going to kill him next round. So I was hoping he just wouldn't attack me. That was at least my game plan going in. I pretty much figured he would go ahead and break into Staten Island. I did figure with the fact that I have 31 troops, that there's a good chance from that I'm probably going to be okay. I'll probably be able to gain it back, and Red would be at a huge disadvantage and probably ready to die the following round. But it's going to hurt me a significant amount. That was my major fear with the 12. So I was hoping the 11 would scare him away, but we'll see what happens. Either way, the zombies start putting themselves in between me and purple, which, I mean, it just gets better and better. So now purple has to go through the zombies, has to go through the red player, and has to go through 2 different bots to get to me. And I was like, all right, I'm pretty confident. And if you look at it, how many troops they have, they only have 10. So I mean, the purple's got 10 troops, has to cross the map. Not gonna happen, pretty much. And if you look at the red player, he's got 18 troops. So if you combine both the red and purple player, which are the 2 human opponents, I still have more troops than them combined. Yeah, and I got AI players in there, but they're expert bots, so they're not gonna really do much. They'll take my ones, but they're not gonna really attack me or hurt me in a position where it's going to damage me to the point where I won't be able to come back from, essentially. Now it is Red's turn. So let's see how Red plays this. Because I was quite nervous to see what Red would do here. Kind of hoping he just attacked the 11. If he attacks the 11, I'm done. But that would have been suicide, so no reason he would. So from here, Red decided to go ahead and move south. Makes sense. Got his 3rd card and called it a day. Then came my turn. So at this point, I'm looking at everything. I don't feel too confident at this point that I'm going to be able to take out too many players. But I do notice that what's called orange only has the 2 above me, the 3 and the 6. So I thought about it, and I'm like, I hope I don't explode, but it's worth it for me to go ahead and get orange's cards now. That was at least my thought process. It's a gamble because I have to deal with red, and I'm starting to put all my troops in one area. Now, at this point, I had to make a decision, and I decided to stack onto the 18 for bigger attack force. Granted, I blocked myself in, but I had a feeling that either the what's called yellow bot or the red player would open me up. At least that was my hope. If not, I figured zombies would. I figured zombies would affect me and take all those ones, because they're all bordering my ones and red's one on the right side in the Queens into Brooklyn. So I figured, being the zombies right there, they're going to move left and should open me up, so I do have a good attack force. Now I have one big worry, and this is one where I said, like I said, I gambled, because the prudent move would have been to fortify down to the 7 on the bottom of Staten Island to guarantee I keep Staten Island, or at least pretty much I can guarantee I hold it, or help it at that point. At least it'd be a lot harder to take. That would have been the more prudent, less risky thing to do. Building an attack force is a little bit gambly, but not too bad. And the reason for it is I got 5 cards now, so I'm guaranteed to have a set next round. So I'm going to get cards next round. So if I do lose Staten Island, it's going to hurt my troop deployment, but I don't think it would. So my thought here is, like, I might lose my troops for the deployment, but I think I'm going to have a big enough force, just with around 30 troops, to be able to take out enough people to daisy chain cards. And that was kind of where I was going with. So what I'm trying to do is build a route through my opponents to keep daisy chaining cards, because at 6 cards, you get to use those cards and turn in your set after you kill a person. So if you kill a person, you have 6 cards, you get to then deploy again and keep going. So if you can daisy chain each kill, then you can keep getting 10 troops and you don't relinquish your turn. This will let you cover a large amount of the board, and if people aren't ready for that kind of a daisy chain, it's going to catch them off guard, and you're going to get a lot more troops than they expect you to get in that round. So it's a really interesting one. Now the other thing that I will say, and I think it was a big deal, and so I kind of want to rewind just to take a look at it. It's this move right here by red, and I consider this the move of the game. And the reason for it is because when red decided to move south and take the bottom left of queens on the island there, it was like right there. When he put that 17 there, this was the moment of the game. If he attacked Staten Island, I don't know if it would change the outcome of the game, but it definitely would have crippled me quite a bit, because he would have been able to take Staten Island, and then I wouldn't have been able to really force my attack to the right. I would have had to go back to the left, and then I probably would have fortified that round and then started another attack the next round, because I probably would have reclaimed Staten Island just to get rid of red. If he stopped right on the 7, I have that one barrier there, so there's a good chance I'd have to run around the whole way. I probably wouldn't. So in that situation, if red decided to attack me, I think it definitely, the game would have changed quite a bit. The game would definitely got longer. But being red went right, it was, I think, a game-ending move. And the reason for it is because we were talking about those daisy chains. So I was able to get cards at this point, at 34 troops. So from here, my first target is going to be red. And the reason for it is red has 4 cards. I want to get his 4 cards. And now, granted, in progressive cards is a lot bigger deal. In fixed cards, not nearly as much. Now, since red ran away, I'm just going to follow his path because they're all linked. So then go pick up his cards. Once I pick up his cards, I see that yellow is right there, and I can kill yellow. So go ahead and kill yellow. I mean, a more competitive me might have waited and killed purple before yellow, so the purple gets 1 less point overall in the tournament. But either way, being that I had that link right there, it just made sense to go ahead and kill yellow, get another troop deployment from the cards, then I can go ahead and kill purple, and then from there I get another troop deployment with the cards, and then I can damage all the zombies and hopefully be able to pick up the win the next round. Luckily, it all worked out, and this game became a very, very fast-paced, quick fixed cards tournament game. But either way, I hope you guys use Staten Island more. I see it a lot in New York when I do play like public games, but I want to see it more. Too many people like the Bronx. Telling you, the Bronx you're gonna get hurt with the Bronx too often, especially in group games. Everyone wants the Bronx. Tell you, I just want Staten Island. You give me Staten Island in New York, and you give me a clear path to Manhattan, it's overpowered. That's just an overpowered route. So yeah, just remember Staten Island. Don't forget it. It's the forgotten borough. I mean, it's forgotten borough, and it's the forgotten borough in this game a lot of times. But yeah, that's the key to New York in my opinion. And also, if you can hold Manhattan for 1 round, you most likely will win the game. So Manhattan is your KO punch. If you can get Manhattan just for 1 round, so you get that bonus, usually that bonus is enough to damage everyone, or to be able to take another area, or just be able to fortify it to keep it. So you want to start with, oh, that was a nice save right there. Lucky tank, I'll take it. Not going to change anything, but it was nice to see. And I even got cards 1 more time, so that was even crazier. So looking at the way I started the game with it's called Staten Island right away, and with the fortifications in Manhattan to link back up, and my opponents pretty much spread out, and the bots protecting me, and then the zombies decided to then split the map in half to even put one of my opponents on the opposite side. You couldn't ask for a better start. Either way, thanks for watching, and just sometimes, man, even if you don't know how to play, you can still get the W if the game is nice to you. Well, if you liked it, give me a like or subscribe. But I'll catch you guys in round 3. Good luck out there.